Okay, we made a promise, and I like to keep our promise, which was, how was your mother-in-law's weightlifting competition?
I'm so glad you asked, Elaine. It went so well.
Did it?
She was amazing. You know how
Oh, not
deadlifters
surprised. Yeah, I know about it.
have the face?
But
She's
yeah.
like, she had the face,
Oh,
but
wow.
she was like smiling, like almost
Yeah.
like smirking at the
She was kind of
judge.
like, okay,
Such a baddie.
that's
But
amazing.
she broke a state record. Yeah. So it was, I should know this. It was 180 pounds, I think, maybe
It's a huge deal
180
because you
and
said she's like
change.
a tiny little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she can't
She's
be.
70 years old.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
That's wild.
so yeah, she
That's
broke a state
amazing.
record. She's the
How many
strongest.
people were there? Where was it?
It was at the Snap Fitness gym in town.
Okay. Yep, yep, yep.
There were probably, like they sectioned off probably half the gym, and you know, they had like spectators, probably enough seating for maybe 40 people.
And everyone was just
Um,
like
yeah, and everyone was
rooting.
kind of in and out because, you know, depending on what event was happening, they would come and support their person.
Yep,
But yeah, it was a great
that's
crowd, and
amazing.
you know, it was fun to watch the other people too. And it's
That's
kind of
so
like the
cool.
Olympics. It's like I couldn't care less about sports until
No.
I do.
Right, and now you're like, I'm totally
You're like,
invested. How
yeah.
yeah, you're like, weightlifting
Should I
is my
deadlift?
life. Right, 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 right.
Welcome to Friends on Purpose
Where two friends talk about life, love,
and Finding Purpose.
so we have a lot to talk about today because
We do, and I'm
I did
really
a lot of
excited about it.
research.
I'm so glad because I didn't necessarily do research, but I definitely have
Okay,
stuff to talk about, like
great.
personal experience stuff. So,
I mean, same,
um,
but also, I know you said you have, because you are forever doing 90% of the work, and I'm just along for the ride. But so you have a like a framework for how you want to take today to go. Does any of it involve just a general overview? Because I've prepared one.
actually, I have a section here where I say Elaine's sciencey things about dreams. So
That is what I researched.
and that is what we are talking about today is dreams.
And
Because
let us know. No, do not go any further. I would like to direct everyone's attention back to, I don't know, episode 3 of season 1, where Eric was like, don't ever tell me about your dreams. Blah, dreams are so boring. And I was like,
they are
I'm
so
out-
boring, but I think in the context of what we're talking about today, we're going to make them not boring.
I have always been a really strong dreamer. I've gone through like bouts of also being like a lucid dreamer. But that takes work, and also like, or sometimes it happens, I don't know why. But anyway, as a kid, I used to have a very a like years long recurring dream, like at least 2 or 3 times a week, where I was sitting in a tractor trailer in the passenger seat. My dad was the driver of like an 18-wheeler, and we're on like a highway that is like cliffy. And so we're like hugging the edge of this mountain, and all of a sudden I look over and my dad's gone, and I have to hop into the driver's seat. But before I can, and I like can't reach the pedals, I can't drive. I just crash over the edge and sail into a McDonald's, and I wake up right before I hit the McDonald's.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I used to have a recurring dream. I believe that the second I started telling people about my recurring dream, it stopped
like,
recurring.
poof.
Yeah.
Whoa. What
And
was
so
it?
it was, I was in my childhood home,
Okay.
and I would be in the attic. It was an unfinished attic. It's kind of like your storybook attic, right? We would hear a crash, like a creaking almost on the roof. And all of a sudden through the windows would come pouring in huge amounts of water, kind of like in the movie Titanic when you'd see it like come down the hall and all that.
Yeah.
It would start there, and so I was always with somebody, and that would always change, but we would run downstairs to try to escape. But the house was like my childhood house, but it was like the fancy version.
Okay.
So it was like everything was like gilded and like the banister was like much more ornate, and everything had much more like detail to it. And it had many more rooms, but they're all reminiscent of the rooms of the actual house I grew up in. And so it was like I knew the layout, but I didn't. And
Yeah.
so there was constantly the struggle of being chased by this water, having to outrun it, but also kind of navigate my way through this labyrinth of rooms.
Yeah.
And we would always, at the end, we'd always get out, and I would be in my front yard, and we would look at the house, and it would just kind of collapse in water. And so the water would just gush out the sides, and it would just fall down, and the water would kind of like come up to our ankles and just kind of dissipate. And then I would wake up. Yeah. And so
was it
I had
always
that.
the same people in your dream?
No. Sometimes it was, but that was like the one variable, like so yeah, crazy, right?
Have you ever had
Or is
one
it
of those?
boring? Like, okay, big deal.
No, I'm fascinated. So the science of it, I'm going to just give you a very high level overview of like the Western / psychological dream theories briefly, and then like non-Western traditions, like more like folk or ancient or Eastern thought. So like I'm going to say obviously, but this might not be obvious to everyone. Obviously, Freud had a hot take on this. He linked dreams to the unconscious and thought that dreams are a place for you to explore your repressed desires, right? So it's like this, so Freudian. Carl Jung, he was like, no, Freud, it's not just this like gross basement of repressed stuff. It's actually like an opportunity for individuation. So those are the like two most popular dream like theorists, but then there are the theories that come along with them. And so there's neuroscientists in the 70s that came up REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep stage, was kind of like discovered in, I don't know, like the 50s, I think. So in the 70s, after 20 years of people incorporating that into our general knowledge, two scientists, Hobson and McCarley, came up with the activation synthesis theory, which is that dreams are the brain's way of making sense of random electrical signals that happen in REM sleep. So he's like, they're like, nothing to see here. It's just your brain is like resetting and cleaning out the cobwebs while you're sleeping. And in this active time when your eyes are going all squiggly, your brain kind of is trying to sense make, and that's what you get. Then there's the threat. Yeah, it's like,
I don't like that theory.
No, it's just like, okay.
Is it a theory or is it
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's called the activation synthesis theory. And then there's the threat simulation theory. So that theory proposes that dream consciousness is an ancient biological or like evolutionary defense mechanism selected for its capacity to have you, the dreamer, act out things like running away from being chased or whatever, like an anxiety-inducing situation, so that you'd be ready to go when it happens. So that's kind of like, that's like the best of the best. Yeah, exactly. Like a flight simulator.
Your practice round.
Exactly. That's like the best of what the Western world has to offer. And it's like so lame. It's just like, okay.
I have some things to share later, and I'm wondering maybe we could figure out where they fit into these theories.
Okay. All right. So the like most prominent or the longest like recorded non-Western traditions. So there's like the indigenous or Aboriginal people of Australia. So Dreamtime or Jakurapura it's known as to see and understand the law, but what that means is like the law of nature. So there's this, it's a very, very important way that that culture believes that it's not like they're not trying to say that when you close your eyes and go to sleep, you stay singularly in your own head. This Aboriginal understanding says like this is kind of where you can access the everything else.
Right.
And
okay.
like your filter kind of dissolves a little. And so dreams in this culture are not static or linear. It's the past, it's the present, it's the future all at once, constantly evolving to help you understand self, but how self exists in context. Then there's like Chinese Taoist tradition, which I was most excited about, which Zhuangzi, who once dreamt of being a butterfly, but he wonders if he was now a butterfly dreaming that he was Zhuangzi. So that the idea of like dreams, this is just a very like famous kind of like philosophical question. Am I a man dreaming I'm a butterfly, or am I a butterfly man dreaming I'm a man? Whatever. We don't know what is real, right? And the dream world, sometimes when you study lucid dreaming, one of the top practices you have to get better at is in your waking hours, find ways to understand whether you are awake or not. Like, how do you validate what is a dream and what is not? So
It's like
you start
the pinch me technique. Yeah.
Exactly. Or like I look in the mirror and I realize that usually in my dream, my teeth are like slightly crooked, or like I have, like whatever. So you like
know what
find.
I actually have one of those.
What is it?
It's if I can read.
Ooh.
If the words in my dreams are legible.
Smell is a really important one. That one of the weird facts I have is that like smell almost never shows up in dreaming.
Like whenever I see a sign or a text in my dreams, it looks like AI
garble.
gibberish.
Yeah. Right. Everyone's got 6 fingers.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's like Eastern, Western. Yeah, the primer on it's
interesting you bring up like ancient philosophies. I think I can't say that I'm familiar with it, but having grown up in Christianity, prophetic, but also the Old Testament, and even just the Bible in general, like the book of Genesis. You have the story of Joseph who saves Egypt from famine because of interpreting dreams. The prophet Daniel interpreted dreams for the king of Persia or whatever it is.
I don't know about that.
Babylon.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, Joseph, like Joseph and Mary Joseph, was warned in a dream to protect Jesus, take him to Egypt so he doesn't get killed by Herod. That was my understanding growing up, my relationship to dreams, but also like within my church, we did believe in like prophetic dreams, which were usually, if they were for the public, it was foretelling something, like the future, or giving guidance in some way. And so, there were times where it would like facilitate the direction the church was going in.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. So like, the one that cuts, I wish I could remember more. I'm sure if I talked to my friends, they'd remind me of a bunch, but the one that comes to mind that kind of stuck with us for like a long period of time, like it would keep coming up. It might've even been what we call a vision, which is like a dream you have when you're awake. Sometimes it plays in front of you like a movie, or it just comes to your mind. But the dream that I could recall was, it was about a ship, like a big sailboat ship that was kind of stuck in stagnant water for decades. But God was telling us that we're finally moving out of these stagnant waters, and
it's very on the nose.
Yeah. And they often were, especially the public ones. People would have personal dreams and would share them from time to time. And those were usually like things that were encouraging, God was telling you that would encourage you. But yeah, it was a dream that I think a lot of people took hope in. And
Yeah.
I think that's why it stuck around, because
Yeah.
everybody, I think everybody was kind of tired of things and where it was hoping for something better to come.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
I
that's,
just pause there because I think it's so interesting. We like the word dream in America or American English.
yeah,
It means like the thing when you close your eyes and you go to sleep. But it also is often attached to hopes and dreams.
right,
Like
right.
what is your we say like what's your
Mm-hmm.
wildest dream?
The
And so of
best thing that
course,
could happen to you.
totally it
Yeah,
means like it has this very positive connotation. Otherwise it would be called a nightmare.
right.
But we're like, you know, but sometimes it doesn't that thing your wildest dream isn't the thing you dream about when you're sleeping. It's like it really means
No,
hope. You
right.
know, like what do
Yeah.
you wish for
And
most?
yeah, and I think that's what was happening here. And I think ironically, I mean, if you want to give that any weight, it did come to pass in,
Yeah, right.
in one way or another. Not
Yeah.
like we thought, but you know, I don't know. Maybe
But
that's
that
a
was
stretch.
probably quantum science at work, right?
Yeah.
Giving
Yeah.
energy toward it. Okay, here's one that blew my mind. Individuals born blind dream differently. So people who become blind later in life still visualize their dreams, have highly visual dreams. But people who are born with no eyesight, they of course still dream, but without any visual imagery. And they experience incredibly vivid dreams through other senses, usually auditory or tactile, less olfactory.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like the aphantasia thing we were talking about the other day.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
not having that visual imagination, but can
Right.
still sense and picture
Totally.
things.
Totally.
Picture, quote unquote. Yeah.
It's just like our non-dominant version of like
Yeah.
we're such
That's really
visual
interesting.
creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's something kooky. Two-way communication during dreams is, as of 2021, verified.
Whoa.
What does that mean? So 4 independent research teams established a complex
telepathy.
No.
Is that what telepathy is?
No. 4 independent research teams established a complex two-way communication during lucid dreams. So out of 158 questions asked to sleeping participants, dreamers answered correctly 18% of the time, with one dreamer reporting math problems coming out of a car radio as part of their dream, which, okay, so what that means is you and I are asleep. You and I are asleep. On your end of the experiment, they are saying things, playing things, whatever, to asking you questions, and you're asleep. You know, because you knew this before you were asleep, that you were going to try and communicate with me. I guess actually it is kind of, yeah, telepathy. Like
It's like telepathy meets lucid dreaming.
Yeah, like we're communicating and like remembering conversations that we're having in
that is
sleep.
so
cool. So crazy. We'll stop talking in 1 second, but what I will just say quickly is this one really got me. In 1920, a scientist was dreaming and woke up at like 3 a.m. and tried to write down basically that this very, very complex experiment that he saw 2 hearts in 2 distinct chambers, but they were connected. And he like tried to write down. He woke up in the morning and he was like, shoot, I can't read my handwriting. So he went back to sleep the next night. And as soon as he like was in that that post dream haze, but he didn't like waste any time writing it down. He didn't go back to sleep. He ran right to the lab, reconstructed the entire thing that had like come to him in his dream, and won the Nobel Prize.
What did he accomplish?
It was like basically like heart transplants, like how to keep a heart beating, like whatever, super important. Wow. But that's not the point, Eric.
Well,
the point is it came from his dreams.
Yeah, a very complex experiment.
Yeah, and there have been nuts. all throughout history, there are examples too, and it's hard for us Western materialists to like believe it if we can't like verify, but it's like there are like, mathematicians who have these like complex math scrolls that they can write out and otherwise wouldn't have known, but they're like, it came to me in a dream. It's like Western science, like Aboriginal wisdom, Taoism, like whatever, dreams are like, I just think like they're just so integral to who we are. And it's like almost like what we can't hold in our waking hours, dreams allow us to kind of like explore. It's like the spillover, and it's like you can imagine the most crazy thing that your rational mind is like, don't even think about it, that your dreams are like, what if we did?
Yeah.
So anyway, those are some dream facts.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Great. I think that's a great segue into what I would like to share, which is my like dream interpretation journey that I went through during some therapy, like during my
during your
cult deconstruction. Yeah. But first,
deconstruction.
Let's do trivia. 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 The friendship trivia game.
Brought to you by us.
In Dream World, are you more likely to be flying majestically or forgetting your locker combination?
Flying. I have flying dreams, and that my medium said that it's really important to note that if you are someone who flies in your dreams, it is likely that you possess the power to like time jump. And the way that it's not just like, oh, I'm dreaming because I'm flying because I want to fly, but it's like if you're asleep in your time zone and it's dark out and in your dream you are flying and it's daylight, you have like completed a time jump. Whatever that means, I don't know. But I used to have dreams about flying over the Grand Canyon, and I was like 6. I'd never been to the Grand Canyon.
I can't recall ever flying in a dream.
I used to have millions of flying dreams. I loved it. It was so euphoric.
Lucky you. Yeah. Next question. Okay. If I showed up in your dream, what would I be doing? Giving advice, causing chaos, narrating everything? Or dressed as a wizard?
You'd probably be like, you've been in my dreams before, and often I like look up and you're there, and I have that experience where I'm like, Eric's not supposed to be here, but it's like not bad. You're just kind of like you're just like a very steady presence, so I would like put you in the like, like, hey,
actually, what you're trying to dream about right now is?
No, I think you'd probably be like giving advice, but like, or just like grounding.
Kind of there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. I love it. What's worse in a dream? Realizing you're naked in public or realizing you signed up for a math test that you didn't study for?
I have that dream all the time, but it's history. It's like I just didn't show up. It's usually that I didn't show up to a class all semester, and then I drop in on that class at like the second to last week, and they're like, there's an exam, and I'm like,
I think it's anybody who's gone to any length of college just has that dream forever afterward.
Isn't that
I have that dream
universal?
I have it at least once a year.
Yeah.
But I also do have not being naked in public.
Yeah.
But I'll have recurring teeth dreams.
That's about money.
I've heard it's about stress or shame.
Oh. Well, all of the above work.
And this is the thing about interpretations, which I'll get into a little bit. It's very subjective with who you are. So yeah, my teeth will fall out. I've had dreams where like my teeth falls out, but it like has like a 3-inch long root.
Oh, yeah. God,
or they're like 5 times bigger than they should be.
Oh.
So like, I can't.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They
always feel so real. Every time I'm in the dream, I'm like, nope, this is real this time. It's actually happening to me. And then I was flossing one day in real life, and my filling popped out from when I was a kid. And I'm like, is this a dream?
Oh,
it was like a
you were like
5-second like moment, like, no, this is and I'm okay. It's just a filling. I went and got it fixed, and but it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I've only had a
it was a
few
full-on
teeth
panic
dreams.
moment though. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Trivia. If you become lucid in a dream tonight, what's the very first irresponsible thing you do?
Oh, I just talked to my grandma. It's when I talk to it's like, I don't have anything irresponsible. I
That's
literally,
really sweet.
I know, like when the
Not
last
jump off a
lucid,
building and go
no,
fly somewhere.
no way.
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
Last question. If your dreams had a genre, would they be comedy, horror, fantasy, documentary, or low budget nonsense?
It's low budget nonsense. It's like, it's just stuff that you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm living Napoleon Dynamite in my dream.
Yeah. Like you could literally do anything. And you're like, you're like, why are you grocery shopping with roller skates?
Yeah. Why am I handing you a delicious bass while we play tetherball?
Yeah, like in my dream, like I should not. It's like I just called it grocery skating, and that's brilliant because that's what I like. Actually, that I like have that dream often.
Grocery skating. That sounds fun.
Like pushing a grocery cart, grabbing stuff.
Why is
skating.
That needs to be a business model?
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It's way more efficient. Okay, y'all, don't license it before I do.
I think that concludes our trivia.
Okay.
Trivia. Brought to you by
Graham Kirk.
Good guy. Cool. Okay, so let's get into your dream interpretation.
All right. Trying to make sense of the good and the bad of my cult life, right? So I go to therapy. It's going well. And he brings up the idea of dream interpretation. And at this point in my life is like, I will do anything. Like, just tell me what to do. But this particular, I guess you'd call it a method of therapy, really resonated with me because I think it shared some very similar things as, like I mentioned, just with the dream stuff we believed in the church, with the prophetic and all that, it felt familiar. And so my assignment for like the next 6 months was to basically just, when you dream something, write it down as soon as you can. And we'll talk about it. And so, there are 2 books we used in combination with my own like experience. One is a dictionary of symbols by J.E. Searlot, and Man and His Symbols by Carl Jung. And they're basically more or less dictionaries of symbols, common symbols throughout humanity and what they mean, and I think I didn't dive into them a whole lot. It was more like he was flipping through them as I was telling him my dream, my therapist. And so we would pick and choose ones that resonated with me. But basically both work from the idea that dreams don't speak plain language, right?
Yeah, they're a symbolic language.
Right. So your psyche doesn't sit you down and give you a TED talk on how you're doing, or it speaks in images and scenes and symbols and emotions and even like characters, and basically kind of plays out this little drama that we call dreams, right?
But it's like got a Dan Brown flavor. You're like, what does that mean?
So yeah, this is where I first learned, the practice of interpreting dreams, just through this basic, therapy. And it's pretty simple. So like these images, that these things I'm writing down, and picking out the symbols, are really things that are only determined by me, the dreamer. And it's kind of subjective in that way. Like one symbol could have 10 different meanings, but you kind of pick the one that resonates with you, depending on where you're at in your head, in context to the dream, that sort of thing. So things like I remember, like a cardinal, the bird.
That's how my Graham shows up to me in the real world.
Really? Because for
Yeah.
me, that's like a symbol of my mom.
Mm.
She loves the color red. She
Mm.
always loved cardinals, and I remember her teaching me about them in homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Mm.
and it was always, she was just really excited and animated about it. And I had to do a little report, and I drew one, and so I always associate it with my mom, and so that's like my personal dictionary. Like
Mm.
all of us have like a language of
Totally.
symbols that are unique to us. And those are valid symbols that you can use in dream interpretation.
And so Laura Lynn Jackson is the name of a like Monroe Institute ions, no, like the Noetic Institute, like very verifiable medium who has been able to demonstrate under test after test after test her ability to communicate things, have other ways of knowing. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Anyway, she wrote a book
Yeah.
called Signs. Very similarly to dream interpretation, she's like dream dictionaries, sign dictionaries, like helpful to a point, but
Right.
like you're the only one who knows that if a cat shows up in your dream, whether
Right.
cats are scary or not. Like,
Mm-hmm,
do you love
mm-hmm.
cats? Did you get bitten
Right.
by a cat? So you have to be in conversation with yourself about like what do those
Right.
things
Right. Which is why
mean
it's
to you?
subjective, and why, there's like this wiggle room, to like, I don't know if wiggle room is the right word. You could get it wrong, or you could
Totally.
fashion it to your own, like,
Just like horoscopes, just like
yeah, yeah,
tarot, just like
yeah,
anything,
exactly.
like.
But there are shared symbols, like the symbol of, you have a bald
Cross.
eagle in your dream, or the
Right.
cross, it means freedom, or it means sacrifice, or it means,
Yeah.
so there are things like that that'll show up too, depending on your walk of life, whether you grew up in the US or you grew up in the Middle
Sure.
East, there's
Totally.
so I'd like to walk us through that process with a dream that I had when I was deconstructing my cult life, right?
Let's
so,
go.
So the process was, first, when I wake up with a dream that felt significant, you write it down, so it doesn't slip away, kind of like you're talking about your Nobel Prize guy. I used my phone because it was easy. I didn't need a flashlight. Sometimes it came through.
Because you're a psychopath who leaves his phone by his bed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gross.
And it's probably terrible for my dream life, but
Terrible.
but the idea is you write it out like verbatim, like totally raw. Don't get poetic with it. Don't try to embellish anything. You just throw it out there and then go back to sleep. And then in the morning, or when you're ready, you go back through it and you underline all of the symbols, like the people, the places, the objects, the emotions, like feelings, the things that seem meaningful, like charged, with meaning. What that would look like is you just underline, a house, or the road, water, a child,
my teeth.
my teeth.
Yeah.
a cathedral.
Yeah.
Whatever stands out.
What if I start dreaming about your teeth?
We'll know where they all win.
Yeah.
What if you dream about my teeth while I'm having a teeth dream? And
well,
we're like,
okay. I actually have a dream that I can't wait to tell you about.
We're definitely going to have to talk about that. Okay. So you then look at the symbols, whether, through your books, through the books my therapist was using to try and grab some meaning. I would pick the ones that felt close to me. None of these are like fixed definitions. It's not like math. It's like all of these things are like possibilities, right? Like I'm gathering. They come
with a feeling too. So it's like you have to like report the symbol and also be like, was I scared by it?
Right.
Like,
yeah. So you're asking what is the deeper self trying to tell me in this language of images. So basically you're just grabbing all these images, and this is going to be like your media for constructing your interpretation, right? So it's like your mosaic of meaning, and you get to like put it in place. So you ready? This is the dream. So in the dream, and this is not a dream that I never dream about being of a different time. But I dreamt, like it's always me in my time, right? I had a dream where I was in the early Christian church Jewish court.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Very specific.
Yeah. So I am in the company of the Apostle Paul and some other apostles, not all of them, maybe Peter, I don't know. There was just like that crowd who were like of the time of, you know, when all of these letters are being written and when Christianity is like starting to spread throughout, you know, throughout the region. And we all are.
Are you an apostle or you're just hanging out with apostles?
I'm just there with them. I'm not an apostle. But we are responsible for trying this prisoner who is guilty of murder. And it is up to me to sentence this man to death. Like I have the final say. Okay. And like I said, he was a murderer and he was like clearly guilty. Like there was no question. Dangerous guy.
Eric, you know how I feel about the death penalty for murder.
And so in my dream, I looked at all of them and I said, okay, if this is what we believe, like if Jesus really died for our sins, then this man ought to go free.
Yeah.
Which is shaky theology. I mean, obviously he needs to be sorry and he needs to repent, but that wasn't part of the equation.
We got to check on that. Yeah, we got to check on that.
Right. And but that wasn't part of the theology in the dream. So I don't think that mattered.
Okay.
That was the feeling I was getting. It was like, no, we need to forgive this man because that's the godly thing to do, you know, within my world. Okay. And so immediately there was like this collective sigh, this relief. And what it reminded me of was have you ever seen those videos or hear of those stories where like the family of the drunk driver victim
the reconciliation
forgive them.
There's a restorative process. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was like that kind of feeling like, oh, you know, that's so beautiful, you know, when you're most proud of humanity and there's that. And, you know, people were weeping because it was so like,
my God, precious. Your dreams are very serious.
I'm not done. Okay. And then there just came this, it started with me. It was unspoken, but there came like this, like the relief changed into something really heavy and the whole mood changed to where there's like this grave realization of like, oh no, you're like we all suddenly understood what we had agreed to
doing. Oh, yeah.
Which was like, to me, it was like, I just forgave this person and he's getting off free.
Yeah.
And he's shown no sign of change. Like, what have I done?
Oh.
And
it was like
this,
immediate.
Yeah, it was like a dread, you know, like I was
regret.
Like releasing this unrepentant evil back into the world. And then I woke up. And so that was like, oh shit, like what does that mean? And I already have some ideas of what that means. Like I'm already kind of processing it.
Can you just place this in, so your relationship with the church has already ended, but you are like, you are trying to, again, you like shared, decide or help yourself decide what was good and what can stay in your life and what was just like, we got to get rid of this. That's why you're in therapy. And so this dream interpretation was a way for you with your therapist to help you understand those things. Okay. So you show up, it's Tuesday, you're seeing your guy and you're like, have I got a dream for you?
So I tell him and we start underlining the symbols together. You know, so I'm underlining, I'm looking at my notes from that session. I'm underlining the word court,
Jesus. Oh.
Paul, Paul, apostles, prisoner, murderer, death sentence, Jesus, freedom, tears, fear, and dread.
Yeah, that's a pretty round summary of the important things in there.
Yeah. And so we apply meaning to those symbols, like literal meaning for sure, like fear is fear, dread is dread, right?
Sure.
But also meaning that like exists within my world. So that includes Christian history.
Yeah, you're very learned in that.
Yep. Western culture.
Yeah.
Kind of how like the American church and how they're interpreting Jesus's sacrifice versus, 2000 years ago versus other denominations and that sort of thing. My personal religious background, my personal values, and even my personal insecurities and so on, like stuff like that. That's kind of like the world we're operating in, like the angles we're pulling from. And so the first symbol, court, often symbolizes judgment, conscious, moral decision-making, some part of the psyche weighing in on what is right and what is wrong. And then the prisoner, we landed on like, this could represent something contained, like held. It could mean danger or guilt or a harmful force, maybe a person, maybe a memory, maybe a wound. Murderer, we settled on destruction in a very clear form, something capable of harm. Paul and the apostles could mean spiritual ideals or symbolize authority, belief systems, inherited truth. And then we got to Jesus, which was symbolizing grace, forgiveness, sacrifice, unconditional love. And then the act of releasing that prisoner was like, we interpreted as mercy, like radical mercy. And then the tears, because that scene was very vivid, like people just undone.
Weeping.
Was something. I think it's actually a Jungian theory. Is that tears, crying because tears usually means something real has been touched.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then finally, fear and dread, and at the risk of like sounding like I know what I'm talking about, like dread, according to Jung, could be the response we feel when we encounter what he called the shadow, capital S shadow, which is his term for like human destructiveness, deceit, cruelty, chaos, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then there was this one detail I only realized after waking up when I was writing. Okay. Paul's face, the Apostle Paul's face in the dream was actually the face of a cult leader I had seen in a documentary that I watched the night before. And suddenly, like, the dream just like
clicked into place.
Deepened. Right. Yeah. So like, now it wasn't like about grace or, it was about, and it might trigger some of my ex-cult friends, but it was more about discernment. And that's what I was trying to do in therapy.
Whoa. You're trying to be like, are you good or are you bad? Like, is this good or
is this
bad?
way of life good? Or am I causing more harm by believing these things?
So it's so interesting because like, when you have those dreams or I guess, have you ever had those dreams besides this one where you are in a familiar place, but all the people are wrong, where you're like, oh, I'm at my high school, but these are all friends from work there or whatever. And like the characters actually really, really matter because you're like trying to figure out it's almost like you're grammatically trying to figure out what's the subject of the sentence. And so it's like all of a sudden is John's face, the Apostle John's face,
Paul,
the most important, Paul's, j'excuse, Paul and the Apostles, the most important like thing for your decoder ring. Like, do you start there?
Yeah. So yeah, because now like the idea of spiritual authority, you know, a cult leader, a church, a church founder, Christianity's ultimately founder, becomes mixed. You know, those two things become mixed and like muddied. You know, and wisdom mixed with manipulation. I mean, that's what I experienced my whole time in this church, right? Um, and so when I piece it all together, what emerged um, was not was not prophetic.
Yeah.
Thank God. You know, it was not
Yeah.
like some
The
psychic
answer wasn't like,
foretelling.
I have to find a new cult.
Yeah, no, no. It it was the conflict that was already inside me, you know,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it was the one that I wasn't yes, I was at therapy to like sort those things out, but it was like I hadn't narrowed it down to, if I continue this way, am I going to be causing harm? If I continue this way, is this truly to others? You know what I mean? Because yes, forgiveness is a very wonderful thing, but it can also be weaponized, you know.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
want to get too
Yeah.
political
Let's
about
not.
this,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
these are the things that like
Interesting.
that are going through my head at the time. Like, I don't want to be a part of a group that
Sucks.
that sucks, and I'm gonna regret, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so I'm piecing all this stuff together, right? And it's showing me the part of me that believes in mercy and believes in forgiveness and in loving people deeply. But it's also showing me the part that, you know, that knows some of this causes real harm, and
Yeah.
that knows trust can be exploited, and knows that boundaries matter, you know.
Mm.
And I learned that the hard way. And so it's like, this point in my life, I was just struggling with how to live out those two things without losing part of myself. You know, the dream didn't solve that tension, but it staged it, you know. And that's what dreams have often done for me. You know, they kind of dramatize the conversations happening underneath my own like consciousness. And so this therapy was teaching me how to like listen to that, and and has really helped, because this happened, like I said, over a course of 6 or 8 months. And it's helped me face some things that otherwise I was just like subconsciously avoiding, you know.
Yeah.
And so like the real questions that were arising was like, okay, how do I, yes, like, how do I actually live, you know? How do I
Mm-hmm.
trust again? How do I love in a world where people can do real harm? You know, how do I stay open-hearted without being destroyed by it, you know?
Mm.
And so my interpretation eventually led to these things. This was kind of my concluding paragraph from my notes those few years ago: was forgiveness and trust are not the same thing. And mercy and access are not the same thing. And you can love humanity and still lock the door, and you can keep compassion in your heart while wisdom stands guard. And it helped settle a lot of uh, anxiety for me,
Mm.
because I was so afraid of becoming cynical, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still something I grapple with. And it's like, the moment I become cynical, that's when I lose that piece of me, you know, that is me and is true, and that I can foster and nurture. But
That's like a very beautiful place to land after all of that. Um,
yeah,
like,
therapy's great.
but Eric, how would you feel if I told you that that's just the beginning? What you're actually trying to get to is a dreamless sleep, and the reason you're trying to get there is because you've like worked through so much of your SHIT that you are preparing for death, and that you're facing death full on.
Perfect now.
Yeah, like, yeah, you're like, I'm done, I'm good. But it's really interesting because like I struggle with like part one of part one, I'm like, "Ah,"
Mm, mm,
but that there are, you like, the whole goal of this is to familiarize yourself with not just interpreting your dreams, but actually like impacting your dreams in your subconscious so that in your waking life, you are living a more aligned version of your
yeah.
truth. Because like
Yeah.
the core belief is that like your subconscious is like your soul or like connected, tethered to like eternity and understands your true like arc. And that if you
Mm,
can like start to like get those things aligned, you're going to be in a better place in your waking and like whatever this timeline is. But that also when you get to practice dissolving the fear of like leaving something behind or whatever, you're like, no, I'm good. You're practicing for this like graceful transition into what comes next. And in like, Tibetan Buddhism and many, there's like reincarnation or there's something else beyond. It's not just like one and done. So anyway, all I'm saying is I feel like you're ready now. And I'm going to send you my copy of this book because I'm tired of practicing and not getting anywhere. It's your turn to try.
okay. Yeah, sure.
Um,
No, that's great.
yeah, it's really like I have a friend also right now who's a therapist who's doing like a very specific Jungian approach to like dream therapy. So I'm curious to hear from her about
Yeah.
that. She's the practicing therapist and like you have to get like
Okay.
certified and all that. So can I tell you what happened with my partner and I a couple of months ago?
Yes, please do.
Hey, friends, if you're enjoying this podcast, could you leave us a rating and review? It doesn't have to be long, but just a few words and or heart emojis. It helps more people discover the show, and friendship, as it turns out, grows better with a good review. If you've already left a review, thanks. You're doing the quiet, heroic work of helping the algorithm believe in friendship. So I was in like this whole dream state, and this was like probably like three or 4 months ago. I always wake up and I'm like, can I tell you my dream, blah? And she's like, she's a real, Scrooge. And she's like, well, but like mostly it's because she's not awake. So I was like, I couldn't help myself. I like woke up and I was like, it was like important that I said this one sentence. I was like, oh, weird. I just had this dream that I was watching you in a factory. And she was like, okay. And didn't say anything. Whole day passes. For whatever reason, I usually get up first, but the next day I was in bed later and she was like, heading out to work. So she was just like doing that thing we do before you like leave for the day. And you're like, okay, and the dogs are fed and like, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, I forgot to tell you, remember yesterday how you said you watched me in a factory? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, that's so weird because like later that morning, which was yesterday at this point, and this is so my partner who like didn't think to it immediately text
Didn't
me.
prioritize that.
Like she's just like
groundbreaking,
totally groundbreaking information.
Dream science.
She's like, that's so weird because when I woke up that morning and like remembered my dream a little bit later, like I had been in a factory, and I was like, are you sure? Yeah, like, are you sure?
Yeah,
but it was like, like when I was telling her, like, I felt like I was like up in the corner of like,
did she describe where you were? Did she see you?
No, she did not see me, and she was actually like a little like, and again, this is so.
Were there any details that you shared?
Yes, I was like,
what?
This is what I saw. I shared with her that she was in a factory on a line, like doing something repetitively. And like it was just passing by. Like what came to my mind now is like that like Lucille Ball sketch where they're like folding candy or whatever. But anyway, it was like a very Apple factory. It's like all white and not Apple, like the Apple you eat, like Apple product. Anyway, but I was up. I described that I was like up in the like far right corner like kind of like sucked up into the corner, just like watching. And that was kind of the only detail I shared. And she was like, that's so weird. Yeah. And so, she was like, that's like, her response was not euphoric like mine, where I was like, yeah, I'm like doing something awesome. She was like, don't observe me in my dreams. Like, she was like, kind of like mad at me.
That's totally a response that I can see her having.
Her. So yeah, she was just so
great.
Like, she was like, that's my private time. Like, don't come into my dreams and watch them.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
So, anyway, I don't know what kind of magic is going on, but I've been practicing my dreaming. I'm becoming better at dreaming. And so like, if you want to consensually invite me into your dreams,
let's do it right now.
There. Let's go. Where do you want to go?
That would be the greatest podcast ever.
Oh my God. If we like set the intention of where we're going.
Yeah. So do we need like a phrase that we speak?
I know, like how do we verify that it's real?
How do they do it in the experiment?
Well,
they had an outside party.
Yeah. And they had 4 independent outside parties because they were trying to make this legit as fuck.
Yeah.
Ask Emily. Ask her to write, like, give you a phrase.
I could just think one up and not tell you.
No, but we have to make sure that you're not cheating. We need an independent source. So, like, she has to be like, pineapple sausage. Which is my pizza order, coincidentally.
Have her say it to a camera with a newspaper date.
Yeah. And, like, that's for you. And then, like, but it's like there's a lot of dependencies here. Like, you would have to tell me in the dream and I would have to remember it, but you'd have to be like, tell me this when you wake up. And I would have to remember that and then be like, did you tell me this thing? But anyway, you could try that.
Let's do a single word.
Okay.
That way it's the easiest thing to say in the dream if we only have like a split second.
And don't make it like the or hi, okay?
Yeah, no, it'll be like a unique
Don't
word.
tell me. Just you and Emily have to come up with a word.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Okay. And no, you know what you have to do? You and Emily come up with the word and Emily has to text
Emily comes on.
And then Emily texts it to Graham.
Okay. And that will put a timestamp on the text.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. We're making a double blind.
We're going to see him this weekend, so we'll have time to talk about it. Yeah. Yeah.
He won't have heard this episode yet. So that's good.
No, but
that's important.
That is important. Okay, cool. Ooh, I love it.
Okay, cool.
It's a deal.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I think it's splashdown time.
Yeah, I think it is splashdown time.
You know what I did watch 3 times through now?
What?
It's Company Retreat.
I don't even know about it.
So good. Did you ever watch Jury Duty?
Did you tell me to?
Yes.
Oops.
You should. So it's basically, you know the movie The Truman Show?
Yes.
He's the only one who doesn't know it's fake. That's what it is in real life.
Okay.
But a much smaller world, right? So it's this temp new hire that jumps both feet in to help this hot sauce company. Only the company is fake. All the employees are fake. The whole retreat is fake.
Okay.
And so they put him in all of these situations to see how he'll react.
He responds.
Yeah. Only it's like 24/7 like acting.
Oh my God.
And he's the only one who doesn't, and it's like I think it was over the course of 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
And so you watch him handle all of these situations. And it's very kind of like office humor flavored, you know, like you have all the quirky personalities. Same thing with Jury Duty, only
and he knows he's being filmed, like because he thinks
he has no idea. He thinks it's real. And so at the end they reveal to him that it's all a farce. It's all, you know, and it's like he's like, wait, what? You know, and you have to watch it.
Okay.
It is so. I think so. Why I like it is because it's so beautiful. Because the 2 people that they picked, because they had Jury Duty which is season 1. Then they Company Retreat, season 2. It's 2 different guys, 2 different scenarios.
Yeah.
But however they pick the subject, they like pick outstanding people. Oh. And so they're constantly like supporting these people they meet and like going out of their way. And they're like, it just fills you with so much hope.
Sweet.
It's the sweetest thing in the world. And,
all right, I'm watching it. I know I said that last time, probably.
And it's really easy to get through. I think it's only 8 episodes, and they're only like 45 minutes long or so.
Great.
So
yeah,
it's not even a hard. Yeah, I love it.
I will definitely watch that in between now. I just saw Steve Carell on Good Hang with Amy Poehler.
Same.
Oh no, wait, no, sorry. It was Fred Armisen.
Fred Armisen. It was just a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. And he was like doing a little like quick bit, and he was like, "What's the deal with people on podcasts? They always change their tone." And I was like, "No, they don't." What is he talking about?
It's that NPR voice. Next up, what would a turtle do if it could talk?
We have a turtle expert coming in from Wisconsin. We're really glad to have her with us.
Yes, neat.
Neat. Anna Geister.
Legend.
Anna Gasteyer? Yeah.
All right. I'll see you later.
Love you so much. Bye.
So bye.